Oh god, but when I feel fingers around my wrist pull at me, I look back in shock. Oh, my first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? Ghost Lady taking on the form of your dead friend, and that bad, and run, Marianne! Greetings, my beautiful viewers. I am the Hunter of Comedy, and welcome back to The Letter. So, last time, I made some choices as Marianne. Some I thought were good, some I thought were bad. And then she saw her deceased friend, who she was also in love with, but refused to admit her feelings because of her upbringing. And I think that this is just the ghost just messing with people. Like the same thing that, they did with Zachary, where it, sounded like his mom singing and everything. Yeah, I mean, definitely something to that. But then that dream, oh my god, the dream of, Hannah and, Lorraine just, inside the mirror, that was effed up. That was super effed up. But I'm not quite sure what's going to happen next, but as I recall, we had a decision to make. Right. You have to make the decision of, is he jealous or ask if he's alright or try to lighten the mood? I don't know what would be better in this case, because what's obvious is that he loves his wife. Sure, there are people that can be adulterous assholes, but still genuinely love their spouse, and he seems to be one of those. Thing is, he seems to be one of those rich people that just thinks that, yeah, it's okay if I have sex on the side because I don't love them. That's fine, right? So, yeah. It's different from polygamy, because in polygamy, basically, it's where a couple decides that they're okay with their spouse seeing other people, as long as it's not you're gonna leave me for them sort of thing. So, yeah. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I'm not sure if asking if he's alright's a good move, or trying to lighten the mood. Honestly, I'm initially drawn to try to lighten the mood, so I'm gonna try that and see what that does.
You're not gonna go out there and join Mrs. Wright?
Negative! No! God damn it! I'm sorry, everybody.
You're starting to look strained. If you want your picture taken so badly, I'm sure the photographer would oblige.
What is it that you want to do then?
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on the thing, actually.
We need to get you away from the butler. You're starting to sound like him. No, I'm not joining Hannah for an interior design magazine photo. What am I, a piece of furniture?
Yes, I was about to say you have as much personality as one, but no. Even though I hate this guy, he has an amazing personality, and it's amazingly well done. I love it.
Look, did a lot of you have anything else crucial to do today? Marianne?
There are still some little things to do. It isn't the end of the day yet.
Yes, but you're paid hourly, aren't you? Per day? Really, I don't care. You and the others can just take off for the day.
Why is he dismissing us all of a sudden? Is this about the possible security threat? Did my question get him all wary and paranoid that he would just send the workers and I away? I realize that threats are an actual concern to these rich and powerful people. I imagine, whether anyone wants to or not, they get a few enemies here and there. I'm sure the foreman and his workers, I think, and his workers can be trusted and are of no threat. Well, at least I trust the people I'm working with. I understand if he doesn't. He doesn't know them from a can of paint. Still, won't it be safer if there are people around who can watch your back?
You're the boss. My being paid by the day aside, I won't be held responsible for any significant delay caused by your decisions. I'll try to get around that, of course, but I'll just remind you of the fact.
Whatever, take forever with the house. I don't give a bloody damn. Don't you worry, you're still getting your money. Just sod off, go crawl around a pub and find yourself a good lay.
Paranoid or aggravated as he might be, this conversation certainly didn't have to warrant that sort of remark.
Maybe I will.
Walking out of the kitchen, I just accept the fact that whatever he says will go while under this roof. Miss Wright and the photographer are still too busy in conversation to notice me, even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I don't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Going to the foyer has me stumble upon the family butler once more, who raises a brow at my presence.
And where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCulloch? The foreman is looking for you.
Oh my god, he pronounces her name right! Miss McCulloch!
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
I don't doubt it. My ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. There are some difficulties at first because the driver didn't know where the Ermengarde mansion is. Weird, I thought everyone knew where that was. He tried to have us hand over GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other technobabble I didn't care about, and the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him it's the haunted mansion over in Ansem Village, he knew just the place. Alrighty, what new development do we have here? Ah, I see, that's what happens in between. To take her mind off of things that haunted her, Marianne McCulloch focused on assisting the Wrights during the move-in. Later that afternoon, she was seen chatting with Luke Wright, who demanded that she and the rest of the crew take an early leave. Okay. And finally headed over, albeit with some hesitation. All the way back to the city, the driver kept complaining about that place giving him the willies. Gives me the willies too. I would have loved to snap at him. But as soon as the thought occurs to me, another blossoms in the forefront of my mind. One that has somehow bothered me greatly, more than my exasperation over Whiskey and his project, or wanting all of it to stop. There has been no Lorraine whispering over my ears today. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Searching for her. Down to the theory. Loose ends. Fucking bloody loose ends everywhere. I thought I'd already moved past this years ago. I'm sorry. I think that's a thing that's probably gonna stay with you literally until forever. It does nothing to help me curb my frustration. If anything, it only ensures that I want a stiff drink. Where else do I want to go? Where else do I go to drink? Tuesdays are for karaoke, and Wednesdays, improv. Usually it's those two guys who did hilarious games, the one with the Irish drinking songs, and are always a crowd favorite. Although I love a good laugh, stand-up comedy isn't my thing. Without Cam and Haruna or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. And when there's several bottles of beer in front of me, I get really, really embarrassed.
Hey! G! Psst! G! Come over here! I need you for something!
It's a good thing the bartender is a nice fellow. I'd probably been kicked out of other places by now, or worse. If push comes to shove, all he would do is give me an easy smile and shake his head, well, even when he's attending to other customers. Just like now.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
He's some Asian guy. Pretty sure I've seen him before a couple of times, although he never talks to anyone except G. The girls used to be all over him too, but he always turns them away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Asian Joe? That's his... They just call him Asian Joe?
All right. What is it?
So, something I've noticed is that, so like, the bartender, Inspector Lee, and to some degree, like the pastor all have this same face, just with slight alterations to them. So yeah, they're all voiced by the same person too. Does a great job. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like they're all the same person.
Do you need someone to help you get home?
Bartender, pour the wine.
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
Good job. A whine, ha, comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. That doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just like I knew he would, before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
With no drink and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep at the bar right then and there. But I'm not ready to stand up and try to trek back home yet.
Same old, same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati. So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
Their talk would interest me, would have kept my attention if I gave a damn. But in my current state, I can barely give two fucks about the things going on around me. All these words just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. And I would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned, if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy, and don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping. Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Oh, wow. Luke fucking Wright. Well, you didn't do that, so good job, Marianne. Fucking whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing about the guy. What the absolute fuck? Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe up.
Is this smart talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
There's an amusement on G's face. The Asian guy started to look ticked off as hell.
Don't worry, Holmes, she's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
Of course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
Yes.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work, especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
And that's the magic word, and she knew it.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11", can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here.
Oh god, that laugh was adorable.
What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove. Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an armrest. But when he shakes me off, I plop into the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of ya. But you're still standing after all that, are ya? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been drinking like there's no tomorrow. I'm a bit jealous. can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. With the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCulloch. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes. Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you. Even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too, they both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
A giggle bubbles up, and I press my cheek against the cool countertop with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually cracking one eye open just in case I thought I fell asleep, I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then. Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
Here we go. Slipping! I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent for as long as I have been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd you what? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This'll be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. If feelings had taste, it'd be bitter than the beer I'm full of. And it gets me thinking. Though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shite in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something.
Something spooky, something fucked up. Tell him something!
As day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling you. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, their hands on my shoulders and everything starts to spin. I quickly slap his hands away, and the best I can, and send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I
I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up chucking on your pretty hair. But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking right, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either. I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself.
And he really is pale. Paler than before, at least. I can see the gears turning in his head on overtime. Oh, wow. Suddenly, he shoves a card in my hand. On it, his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Maybe if you went for someone else, might not remind you of your friend Lorraine? I mean, I don't know. I mean, definitely bisexual. She hits on everybody.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash.
I'm sorry, I skipped it too fast before I was gonna make a comment. He said, oh yeah, you're not my type, lady. I'm like, oh right, yeah, you go for them Filipino women, don't you? Ha ha. Subtle hint that's not so subtle.
If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy is quick on his feet and already up and at him as soon as the number leaves his lips. Watching him outmaneuver... That's not how you spell maneuver. Maneuvers through the crowd and other pub goers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's out the door and throws us a smile, and that's all we get before he's gone, just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Huh. The interior designer again drank her frustrations away at the crawl bar. Albeit heavily intoxicated, she was seen chatting with Ashton Frey, a detective inspector working for the LPD, about Luke Wright. Before abruptly leaving, the detective left her his calling card. Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Why are you back? I did not want you to come back.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite, unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can sleep much to begin with. Jeez. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling this lately.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on the client's face is enough to push through. Let's face it. In between my aspiration at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that. Burying my feelings as deep as they've buried her body. 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's already supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the deed, when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites, way past their honeymoon phase. And I've somehow been roped into to being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband, but it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle, but if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest, though, there are some help to me. Like the weight has been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive, because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how people see me. They see someone obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wrights' grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off, while they work for what is possibly the most powerful couple in Luxbourne. Oh no! I make it into the kitchen with ease, with the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never! This is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCulloch, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCulloch, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points to wisdom and 8 to charisma! Just thinking about that makes it a bit cheesy. But it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
Oh, I love you, Johann. You're fantastic. The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others. People who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out of for being in the kitchen without permission. Then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, it'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points to wisdom and 8 in dexterity!
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place.
Oh, she's making so many D&D references, but like the D&D references is just like, yeah, 8 to dexterity, that's a -1! Anything below a 10 is bad! What are all of her stats in? Intelligence? Intelligence doesn't do much for you! I mean, like, you want it in, like, wisdom or strength. She does not look, she's got much in the strength department.
So, just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and a disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But...
Please, it's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself.
Good! Good! We have someone who will come look for us!
The bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. Save time, then! Oh, God. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. I do not want to be down here! Why are there torches? There should be electric lights down here. They can do that now! The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the walls compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. The mirror that had been moved from the study is my goal. I did not return to it after my initial discovery, but the thought of Lorraine, how much I want to see her again, even if it's just one more time, keeps coming back to mind. As I walk through the cellar, I have to stop when I feel something crunch beneath my feet. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. Perhaps dropped by one of the many chefs and bartenders the butler had escorted through here before. And it made a downright mess with red red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. With how dark this place is, a person with a dark enough imagination can easily mistake it for blood. I can't help but think it is, despite the easy, logical explanation that had come to my mind, only because of what I'm about to do. It's merely a momentary distraction as I continue to the end of the cellar where the mirror stands. God damn it, why? Why are you seeking this out, Marianne? You are a cleric! Clerics do not go up front! Clerics hang in the back and have high AC just in case they get attacked. That's armor class. The higher your AC is, the harder it is for you to hit. Propped up on the far wall, it gleams innocently while pretending to be a simple and ordinary mirror. How morbid to think this thing can show a person their deepest, most desperate desires and then twist it into an image so dark. That's what I had seen that day. Though I heard Lorraine many times, I'd only seen her within its frame. I wonder if people have discovered it before. How many were wasted away in front of it, enamored? How many were frightened away by what they saw? Yet, as I stand before it now, nothing. I can barely see my own reflection in the darkness.
How does this even
work?
work?
Oh my god.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Her talking scared the fuck out of me. Oh my god.
Something? Anything?
Nothing. Touching its surface doesn't make it magically activate or anything like that. There's no sudden urge of power, and I'm not suddenly granted sight. It stays as it is. A mirror. Well, you could cast Detect Magic or Identify Object. Maybe that would help. Although, you know, those are not things you can do in reality. Like you should not be here. Why are you here, Marianne? You have a wonderful singing voice. Do not waste your singing voice! Was Lorraine's appearance in the mirror at all some sort of fever dream? Am I really that burdened with guilt and despair that my mind would eat itself in my stress and have me hallucinate such things? Either way, just going here on some crazed obsession for a girl long gone must warrant me a trip to the doctor. Already I feel ill. After a few more minutes, in the hopes that something would change, I turn around to leave. I can just go back up the stairs like nothing ever happened. Perhaps drop by the party for some hors d'oeuvres and then go home and collect myself. Besides, Mrs. Wright is expecting me and I'm...
Going to leave me again then, are you?
I stop in my tracks, but I don't turn back. As much as it pains me, I don't look back. I'm just hearing her again. Desperate, delusional. I look back to see nothing. I don't want to give myself false hope. Oh god, but when I feel fingers around my wrist pull at me, I look back in shock. Oh, my first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? Ghost lady taking on the form of your dead friend, and that bad, and run, Marianne! Second is Lorraine. Her hands are cold.
Are you that mad at me that you're just going to ignore me, Marianne?
I don't know what to say. I can only stare at her and wonder. She stands there in the mirror, with only her arm extended outward for my sake. Wait, what? Oh, her arm is... Okay, so her arm is sticking out of the mirror. I look at the hand still holding my wrist, and when she sees me look at it, she moves it so that our hands are intertwined, fingers weaved together. Seeing her there, feeling her touch meant I'm not crazy, though however impossible and unexplainable this all is to me right now. It just takes my breath away. Pulling her out from there is tempting. I can imagine doing so with ease. We can be together again. Lorraine and Marianne, like nothing had ever happened. But that would all be a great lie, wouldn't it?
What? Tack out your tongue? Don't just look at me like that. Say something.
Even if this thing were some magical portal that could bring back the dead, that doesn't erase anything. Just looking at her, still a young teenager while I'm already a grown woman. It serves no other reason than to break the illusion that blinds me. I've seen her twice now, always behind the mirror. If this is real, if this is some delusion, Why could she only exist behind the glass?
Yeah. You have no idea how happy I am to see you. It's been so long.
You don't look happy.
I really am happy, but at the same time, I can't help but think about what happened to you.
And what does that mean? What are you saying?
She gives me this peculiar look. And before my eyes, she moves to step out of the mirror. In turn, I wrench my hand from her and take a step back, almost as if I'm afraid.
I don't know how this is possible. But whatever this is, it isn't real. You can't be real.
I'm right here, aren't I? What other proof do you need?
No. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. But even with all that, you can't be real. You just can't. I saw your body. I helped bury you. You're dead.
A deep hurt crosses her face, and it just breaks my heart in two seeing her wear that expression.
Burying me wasn't the only thing you did. Don't you dare lie. But I'm going to be the bigger woman, aren't I? Let bygones be bygones. I'll forgive you, as long as you stay with me, Marianne.
No! This are bad!
That's why you came down here, right? To find me?
That was the plan. I came down here looking for her, for closure. But this isn't just closure. This is something else entirely. I didn't think I would be forced to make such a choice. Do I leave or do I stay? Oh, okay, sorry, but this is gonna be the easy decision. For me, because if I stay, I have a feeling that she gonna die. She gonna die, so I need to move on. Closure. That's all I came here for. Whatever this is, might as well all just be a devil's trick. And I might as well make some use of it, right? I say nothing at first for fear of angering whatever phantom this is. I take Lorraine's hand and bring it up to my lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. She takes it as some sort of invitation to pull me along, to step back into the mirror until only her arm is extended again.
I should have been more honest back then, both to you and myself. I know it's too late. I'm sorry. But
the thought of being with the dead did not agree with me. Not one bit.
I can't stay with you.
Goodbye, my first love. Oh, that's a nice little achievement I just got.
So what? You're going to leave me for some old trophy wife? That's it, isn't it? You're going to leave poor Amy Lorraine and go after the next rich, pretty blonde that you see.
This is a mistake.
All these years, guilt has been my driving force. I felt so guilty for what I did, what I didn't do.
She thinks she can guilt me into being complacent, but she realizes otherwise as I pull my hand from her. And, going by the look of anger on her face, an anger that runs cold, she did not like the fact that I am not some puppet on a string. Had she chosen her words carefully, I would have accepted whatever punishment Lorraine chooses to give me. Guilt had run my life, and it might have very well ended it, because I deserved it.
But what I did to me. The blood in my hands is mine, not yours.
Whoever or whatever this shadow is, my gut tells me she's not Lorraine. Yet, I keep talking as if she is.
I broke your heart, not your neck.
Don't you dare deny it! It was your fault!
Because I loved you more than I dare to admit? Yes, that was my fault, but I never meant to hurt you like that.
Despite my words, no matter how sincere they are, she appears angry, enraged, in fact. It's been years since I saw that face, and even now, the memory of it is still etched deeply in my mind. The hurt, the tears, the hate spilling from her eyes that day, the moment I rejected her. Rejected myself for who I am. And she definitely will hate what I'm about to do next. To my left, a wine rack. From there, I take a bottle and pray to all the saints I can remember. Saint John, Saint Patrick, Saint Peter, Saint Augustus, Saint Giorgio, Saint Jarrett. I'm out of saints. Other saints as well, for all my sins. For every hurtful word I've uttered. For what I have what I have driven her to do that day. What I forced her into.
What are you doing?
I do it without thinking twice. Quickly, before I can hesitate, I grab the bottle and send it straight towards the mirror. Shards of the bottle in the mirror are sent flying elsewhere as Lorraine's screams echo in the cellar. Bitter, searing. Like every wounding accusation she hurled at me. They've never left me. I doubt they ever will. But with this, I can move away from them, from her. Live my life as I should, free from this burden. Her burden. Because the Lorraine I know, the real one, the person I love, will never want me carrying this to my death. As the screaming dies down, I can't help but mutter weakly.
It's done. It's done. Oh, Lorraine. Forgive me, Lorraine.
I take some time to compose myself, breathing in and out, stamping down on the tremor still racking my hand, straight out my jacket and fixing my hair. All a weak attempt to return myself to someone resembling my normal self. This would probably be easier to do with a mirror, but I likely won't be able to stand looking at one for a long time.
Well, now, I should probably go back up there. Party to attend, rich socialites to do business with, and food to eat. Mrs. Wright will be happy if I make some time for it anyway.
Yet, one last time to the shattered glass beneath my feet.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. May you see God's light on the path.
Turning around to leave, for good this time, the uneasy smile on my face falls as I see Lorraine, whole and well.
Come on, Mac. You really didn't think it would be that easy, did you? You get bonus points for trying, but you should know an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead.
Oh, God, so many references! And you're right, an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead. You have to have high charisma if you want to do that shit. She advances towards me, backing me against the wall. I can't even reach for another bottle of wine without putting myself within her reach. Despite my earlier bravado, I didn't think she'll be able to exist at all without the mirror. Can you blame me, though? It's not like I'm an expert on the supernatural.
That's not... You shouldn't be...
What? After the mirror, did you think just moving on will erase what you did to me? You're nothing but a murderer, Marianne. A murderer!
Bullshit!
Stay back. You're not real. Leave me alone.
She is not a murderer! That is not the case! She unintentionally drove someone to suicide. And God, I don't even want to contemplate what that must feel like, because that must be the worst feeling in the world. Something you will never, ever be over or get rid of. But you know what? You can, eventually. Because I know that the real Lorraine would never want this for her. She would never want her to feel this bad. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Stop! I'm trying to move on with my life, so why won't you let me? Please! Just get out of my head and leave me be!
I try to find an exit when there's a click. The next thing I know, I'm falling back into darkness. I fall on my back and a door slams shut behind me. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Desperate to deal with her painful past, Marianne McCulloch excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine within the mansion. She sees her ghost in the wine cellar. However, a realization hit her and she finally let go. Oh boy, this is not good. I feel like I should not be here. In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other side of the wall, some sort of secret passage, perhaps? An underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion's floor plans are a lot more than just little discrepancies. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved, though, at the idea that there is still a way to escape. Should that happen. That is way better than being trapped on the ground with only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. Think about how Mrs. Wright would be so disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. I imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Johan's reaction comes to mind, though I don't really know that guy. Don't really know much about him. One thing's for sure, I would be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. Oh, fuck, Nuggets! That noise makes me wary, as it should. Oh no, a ghastly thing. The corpse of a woman leans on the wall. Her arms, limbs, every inch of her lithe body is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing moves. Oh, there it is! As soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run, as you should. I try to keep on running, no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going, even though I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. Scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her blood-stained mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know the thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and are pulled back. Still I struggle until I am thrown to the other side like some ragdoll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts. I keep my eyes shut, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
You're back?! There's only dread, seeing how she's followed me even near. She looms over me, back further into the cell I was thrown in.
Please. It's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne. Why won't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why?
What are you?
Whoa. Lorraine shifts. It turns and shifts into that thing from before. And, oh god. And, with that same gruesome grin, takes a step forward toward the cell. Towards me. Barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut, and it just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm paralyzed in shock by what is happening. My throat tightens, being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. So then where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl?
Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here.
Oh god.
Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though! It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's where his kid would panic.
Guys? What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There. Oh, in the corner of the cell, a digital camera flickers to life, and the video is played back on the screen. It's hard to even consider paying attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move, the teenagers mockingly shouts of "help me" filled the cell. I just had to watch. What I had seen, students, judging by their Saint Giretti uniforms, they were holding
That letter.
and that thing, the woman, she... Oh my god, that's who she is! Do not tell me that's the end of hers! While trying to escape the phantom disguised as her friend, Marianne discovered an underground prison hidden in the deepest corners of the mansion. Now trapped in one of the cells, she found a recording left behind by some of the mansion's victims. No! No! God damn it, no! Why? This is how it begins, so they say. God damn it, no! I just finished with... No! Did I make a wrong choice? Did I screw up and get her killed? Because, like, I know that she had a quick time event that I did good on. Hannah I did good on. She was still alive last I knew. Zach was still alive last I knew. Marianne, though, I'm pretty sure she'll be okay, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And now we have Rebecca Gales. Oh, she was born on April Fool's Day. That's kind of sad. Aries, 29 years old, 5'5". She's a history teacher, and Scottish. Oh, she's an atheist, but raised Kirk. I'm not quite sure what that is. I mean, obviously it's a religion. Master's degree in education, a major in European history. Likes stoves, reading in the library, going to the gym, cycling and jogging, lacrosse, and lesson plans. Although of Scottish descent, she grew up in Luxbourne and even went to school in St. Geretti. Her parents were professors of European history and Southeast Asian history at Luxbourne University. They were often busy, and that forced Rebecca to be independent early on. Surrounded by books and filled with a love for learning, she was a star pupil and was often called a teacher's pet for it. Her passion for academics, leading to a career in the industry, was to be expected of her. She came out of her shell in her high school years, and started becoming the Spitfire she is now. Back then, Ashton was only her friend, though she found him aggravating at first. Independent and used to taking care of others, it was no surprise when she helped out the young foreigner who moves in next door. Oh, so she... I mean, like, we knew already that she had, like, a huge crush on Ashton. That would just make sense. Oh my god, no. No, just... Why is that where Marianne's story ends? Dear God! Oh, I don't like this! I don't like this! Not at all. Damn it. Well, we may as well get into Rebecca's story. With a gentle wind drifting through open windows, muffled laughters and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, and the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we're off to some grand adventure, diving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might come sweep me off my feet, if I'm so lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. Oh, man. The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue are all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies, that's what these are. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life, I am one. Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin filing out into the hallways soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either, since Isabella moved in next door. If her fussing over a minor cold last week tells me anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, as long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over to the bottle sitting on my desk. A chuckle escapes me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother Hen, she calls me, and then says the same thing right after. It's not that I'm used to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over fretting. Over her fretting, I'm sorry. If I'm to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute and then act like an adult the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all, that big numpy. Numpty? That's weird. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I really rather not pass another burden onto her.
Or become one myself.
Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of the things people eventually grow away from. Once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips when the screen lights up and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds once I do accept the call is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper. Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't quite sit well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that has suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided me are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get the gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though I'm still worried. Especially with words like panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stamp down on the urge to demand answers right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough, regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her. Though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she just said a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Very high. She is so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxbourne. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
The faintest form of conversation echoes from the other end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxburn's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of the city? But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant about refusing my offer of help before, I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. It can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
Whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer, Every single ounce of it grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, seems off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies of a rehearsing band drifts freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk as I march to Edward All's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this nagging feeling. For one reason or another, that single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over as quickly as possible. So much so that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face. Was there supposed to be a voice there? Buen tardes, Miss Pink.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Is that a... Yeah, that's a missing voice file. Wow, they actually have a missing voice file in this game. Considering how old this game is, I'm pretty sure someone probably already told them by now. I don't really think I need to, but you know. Weird. Sorry, Miss Pink? She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. Okay. Did it not load right? 1 second. Wait, why did my relationship with Ashton go down? Why is that a thing? Why did that happen? I don't know why that happened, but it says that happened. Why did that happen? What did I do? What's going on? If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on her face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink. You sound like my my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
Okay, yeah, so there's 2 missing voice files, but it looks like the rest are here.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if she keeps a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. He said it's for Tio Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Oh no! Oh no! They want to go to the mansion! Oh no! Bad! I've seen what happens to kids who go there. They die. They super die. And like, here's my question. Like, some of these, like, curses, like some of the people that this ghost is killing, it's doing it insanely quickly. And other people, it's taking its time and tormenting. Why? Why is that happening? I don't know. Laughter slips free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whatever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both Zuara's kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, they're nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, might have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Oh. Her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look, but as much as I want to stay longer, there's another place I need to be right now. Ha! Frankly, another child to look after. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout, as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at my question, just like that. I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than Southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too. Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore.
Yeah.
Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years and one will think that's enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter or even things that are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
There you go, little one. God, I like this kid. And I mean, apparently she's related to the Wrights, like the goddaughter. Also, something important. I don't know if I properly addressed this a while ago, because this is back when we were with Zach, but I mean, like, she got... Okay, question is, did she actually get possessed by the ghost? Or was that just, the ghost manipulating Zachary's, like, thoughts and hearing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she really got possessed or not. I hope not. I like this little girl. I don't want her to get possessed. I cannot stand creepy little children.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down, falling
Oh
down,
God, it's
falling
back.
down. London Bridge
She
is
doesn't look
falling
back or
down.
wait for any sort of goodbye from me.
My lady.
With a song and an extra spring in her step, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can give. As if the conversation has never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree, unbidden, untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same can be said of myself and my own worries. Luxburn may be a small city, but it's no stranger to the hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, it's getting out of the city today proves more of a breeze than a hassle. Or a relief, considering how none of my calls to Isabella have gone through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Okay, there it is. Okay. Rebecca Gales received a phone call from Rose Cooper after class, asking for her to pick up Isabella Santos from the Ermengarde mansion. On her way out of school, an excited Kylie Suarez stops her favorite teacher from leaving. Yay, that's adorable. I like that. Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxbourne, the estate and the nearby Anselm village stand as its complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of old, whispers of a once booming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up to the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house's facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathering at the foyer, looking for any sign of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
No sign of the other staff, or Miss Cooper either. I could certainly look for Isabel on my own, but in a place this big? I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. Judging by that noise, no. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech-savvy, after all. To my relief, it only takes 3 successful tries. At the 4th one, right as I'm about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up. The ringing goes far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and an eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to noises louder than ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion. Floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, those old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray far into the ugly line of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and...
Oh, God!
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. It doesn't look like it's been cut off. Blaring, busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, Lord! Oh, no! Oh, my God! Oh, no! 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 But above the noise cut through the midair remains the faint cries of a woman from beyond the foyer. My hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I can't be the only one hearing this. There must be some sort of staff hanging around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when her sobs turn into more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious, towards a door on the other end of the room. And I'm sorry, but we're all out of time, and that's where we're gonna have to end it for this episode. Oh, God. Oh, I did not expect this. I did not expect, Miss McCulloch to get locked in like a fucking dungeon in the basement. I was not expecting this. But, like, at least we finally have a little bit more to this mystery, because, like, the ghost, like, took on her image. The image of this lady, who I think is Lady Charlotte, but I'm not really sure if that's who she is. But, I mean, like, either way, we're gonna find out sooner or later. So, thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I appreciate you being here with me. Next time, we're gonna try and see where all these crazy cries are coming from, and, hopefully not do anything stupid, because, as we all know, I am fond of doing stupid things. I still don't know if I did the right thing. I still don't know if maybe I got, like, Marianne. Like, was she supposed to go with, like, you know, the ghost girl? I don't think she was. It felt like the smart decision was to be, like, let her go. But then, like, I knew that, like, it wouldn't be that easy. Why didn't Johan come to save the day? Like, why? Why are so many bad things happening? But they're gonna have to wait for another episode. So, we're gonna get to the bottom of this next time. Hopefully figure out where these cries are coming from, and hopefully keep Rebecca alive, because her relationship needs to improve with these people. Like, her relationship with Ashton and Isabella needs to improve. That's, like, the one thing I feel like I'm needing to do, is I need to increase my relationship with the both of them. I need to increase my relationship with Ashton and Isabella. It's gonna be difficult, but I don't know if that's gonna be something that's gonna, you know, help us get, like, the true ending or not, but I have a feeling it's connected to it. But either way, thanks again, and until next time, have yourselves a beautiful day, my beautiful, beautiful viewers. Okay, please stop crying. Please.